Alright, so this is the night of day 19, and I just got done staring at the shower wall for like 2 hours the whole time, and the whole time I had goosebumps because like the kind when you like your grandma or your mom like makes that kissing noise in your ear, like when you're a little kid, and I can't make up my mind if I just met the most bizarre person in the entire world, or if I just had the most bizarre experience in the entire world. But I was walking along the highway, and every once in a while I'll take pictures of things I find, and like along the roadside, and I found something that said "friend" on it. So I bent over to take a picture of it, and people pull over all the time and try. I've had at least 100 people pull over and try to offer me a ride, thinking I'm a hitchhiker. And usually they slam on their brakes and they swerve right in front of me, and it scares me half to death. And but this time I look up and there's this dude pulled over in front of me, and he's standing outside of his car and he's honking like crazy. And it was like the guy came out of nowhere, because I didn't see him or hear him at all until he started honking. So I walked toward him, and he's pacing, back and forth in front of his car, and then he goes and tries to open the door for me. And I was like, no thanks, I'm actually walking across America. And he was like, get in. And I was like, huh? And he was like, he just kind of took a long, hard stare at me, and he was like, there's something special about you. And he's like, you look like a nice guy. And I was like, well, honestly, I look like a hobo that just got hit with the ugly stick. And he starts doing this countdown thing with his hands, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I never felt threatened by the guy. I mean, he was like a foot shorter, 50 pounds lighter, late 50s. He drove an older Ford sedan. I mean, he only had like a few teeth on the bottom where like he put his cigarette in between, and he talked so fast that it was almost impossible to understand him. I kept saying "huh" or "what" just to make sure I heard him, clearly. But this guy actually had something special about him, and I could not figure out what it was. And I mean, looks wise, they were screaming, "Run, Greg, run!" But my gut, for some strange reason, was saying, do what he says. So um, I got in, and immediately I hear in the background of the radio. I'm like, what is that? And I asked myself, what song am I hearing in the background? He turned it up, and he was like, Bohemian Rhapsody. And I was like, oh, I was like thinking to myself, because I'm not saying much, because I'm pretty speechless through this whole trip, because I really don't know how to act or what to say for once in my life. I just didn't know how to handle this guy. So it was just so bizarre. And I was thinking to myself, like, Bohemian Rhapsody, that's one of me and Megan's favorite songs, and from Wayne's World, which was her favorite movie. And he uh, he was like, do you have any money on you? And I was like, no. And he's like, I know you just lied to me. And then he was like, never give anyone money and always travel alone. And he hands me 5 $20 bills and was like, read the serial numbers on them. And I was like, why? And he was like, because they're yours. And I was like, oh man, you don't have to give me anything. I said, I appreciate it, but you don't have to do that. I mean, that's your hard-earned money, man. And right then he pulls off the ramp to this really nice hotel, and he was like, stay here tonight. And I said thanks, um, and I asked him, I said, well, why did you pull over in the first place? And he pointed straight up, like to the sky, and he was like, be safe. And I figured maybe he saw my story on the news, or somehow, even though like um, even though the local story, because they did interview me yesterday, even though the local story didn't air for until later on that night, I figured maybe somehow saw it or something. But when he was pulling off, he was like, "What's your name anyway?" And I was like, my name's Greg. And I said, what's yours? And he said, Monty. And then he drives off. And that was just like the most bizarre, like, you know, 2 miles of my life or whatever it was. I mean, it was just, I don't even know what to make out of it. So, guess I'm gonna finish watching Dora the Explorer and go to bed. But wish me luck.